Wills, LLCs, and contracts. Dennis built his business with speed, trust, and tools that actually worked. His go-to, Rocket Lawyer, because behind every business is a story worth telling. Welcome to Small Business Spotlight. So Dennis, just really start off, I'd love to can you just give me your full name and the name of your business and where you're located?
Okay, my name is Dennys van Dick. The name of our business is RLS Paradise Realty. We're based in the Punta Gorda, Fort Charlotte area of Florida, which is about 30 miles north of Fort Myers and about 50 miles south of Tampa on the Gulf Coast.
I love it. Well, good. Thanks for being here. Tell me about the business. Who do you serve? What does it do? I know it's in real estate, but as far as you're concerned and the community you work with, tell us a bit more about the business itself.
Well, the business is basically, my wife has been in the real estate business for a long time. She's a real estate broker, and we found that she's a broker for more than one business, if you will, which is kind of in Florida requires some unique law regulations that you have to follow. She currently, one of her main focuses is for a manufactured home community, over 900 homes. She currently has 90 listings in that community, 17 under contract right now. So Florida, yeah, except she's going crazy trying to do it. But even with the hurricanes that have hit Florida the past year, past couple of years, the demand for real estate in Florida hasn't changed. Some of that has to do with the fact that you don't pay any income state tax in Florida. It means a lot to a lot of people. A lot of people maintain properties down here, as well as in other parts of the country and Canada. Establishing home ownership down here in Florida allows them to possibly not pay taxes that they might have had to if they don't have a property down here. My dad actually bought a condo in Florida 40 years ago for that specific purpose. And it's served him well by having that option.
Tell me how you got into this. You may have said this already, but just recap how you and your wife, how y'all got into it. Like, what were you doing before this, or did you do this right from birth? Tell me the story of what led you to do this.
Well, actually, I've been in the IT telecom world for many years, working for the big boys that you're familiar with. I won't throw the names out there, but I did a lot of project management for them. I also have always had a great interest in real estate. I've had real estate holdings in California, Florida, multiple properties, and found that it's one of the great ways to establish equity in your life with simple work but smart buying and smart selling. The market, of course, today is much more difficult than it was, say, just a few years ago. But like I said, the market continues to still be there. My wife has been in real estate as well for many years. She had the company she was working said the real estate broker they had was not meeting their requirements, was not doing the job. They said, we need you to get your real estate broker's license so that you can take over that role as well for our community. So she went ahead and did that, and now works as a kind of a dual role as an agent, transactional agent, as they call it in the business, as well as the broker for the community. When that happened, the company said, well, we kind of don't want to pay you twice for the same thing. So can you start an LLC so that we can pay the broker part of the business separately from the personal real estate transactions? So I had already used Rocket Lawyer for personal things such as wills, promissory notes, things of that nature, power of attorney. And I thought Rocket Lawyer would be a perfect fit to work with us to start our new LLC with the knowing that they might have the answers to questions that I might not have. So that's where we started our LLC through Rocket Lawyer, and then followed and through the Department of Regulation here in Florida, we were able to establish the company, get everything going out and getting the checking accounts going, things of that nature, basically to have the ability to run that business as well as what we're both doing now.
I love that. I want to highlight a few things you said, Dennis. And again, thanks for joining us today. One, it's interesting, not interesting, but it's amazing that you were using Rocket Lawyer for your personal needs and et cetera, and then transitioned it over to business. And I think, can you just speak more about that to people who are listening to us, that for Rocket Lawyer, it's not just for business owners, it's not just for personal, but there's uses that you can use for both parts of your life, wills and real estate and estate planning and things of this nature. Just talk more about that, how you use that on the personal side, and then you felt secure enough, trusted enough to transition it to the business side. Just talk about that.
Well, I forgot what basically what I was originally, my interest in Rocket Lawyer was that I needed to update my will. I hadn't updated my will in many years, and I thought, well, this is a good time to do it. And I believe in online services if they're good. So I looked into Rocket Lawyer. I looked at the different things. I went on the start of the trial basis and say, hey, try us out and see if you like us. If you do, you can become a subscriber. I quickly, using the system online, tested it, and testing it being, hey, if I've got a question, let's see how long it takes them to get back to me, whether it's a simple question or a complex question. The responses were always within 24 hours, which to me is more than satisfactory. The fee structure, if you subscribe to the full package, it's basically a flat rate plan. It gives you the confidence to know, hey, am I going to have to pay a bill every time I have a question? Which I don't. There's a lot of research. There's a lot of tools and information that's built into the system. So it allowed me to go ahead and create that will. My parents are here in Florida as well, to create, power of attorney, all those important things you need to have in your life that maybe you don't want to stop and go out and find a lawyer and have to call them up and call back and forth to get anything done. You can go into Rocket Lawyer, create those documents, get them notarized. They have a great digital package that, such as a thing like DocuSign as we use in the real estate business. Rocket Lawyer has that built in. So as an example, if I had a promissory note I needed to get done, I created the document. There are some great templates that are built into the system. Modified it to meet my needs, sent it off, and had it back within 24 hours, digitally signed, and it was good to go, and it was able to help me quickly make a real estate transaction that I was looking at doing. So the personal side of Rocket Lawyer, it just complements the business side of what it can do for you as an individual and a small business.
And so I was writing notes as you did. One, you liked the fast response time. You tested it and said, let me see if they're going to be true to their word. Fast response time. Number two, the fee structure. And again, that's part of Rocket Lawyer's promise. We're not trying to have exorbitant fees. We want to make it small business friendly. Number three, you said you like the built-in tools. You could sign the documents, store the documents, et cetera, all in one place and not have to go all over the place. And and as I said, the speed was quick. So thank you for that. I appreciate it very much. When you think about the growth of your business overall, and you said Florida has a lot of laws and things, and you have to be careful, especially in real estate. Did you feel secure and safe at Rocket Lawyer, knowing that, hey, Rocket Lawyer is good enough, or maybe even exceeded your expectations, even in a regulated environment, that you could still use Rocket Lawyer for your needs? I assume that's a yes, but can you just talk to that for those listening?
Yeah, actually, I remember some specific Florida-based questions, and part of Rocket Lawyer does is when you send an inquiry that you're saying, hey, maybe I kind of need some advice on this, or am I right in what I think this is? What I found a number of times that when I sent these questions in, and remember, these questions are included in your subscription, again, great value. When I sent these questions in, I was pleasantly surprised to find that the response was from a local attorneys, Florida-based. And so basically, what appeared to me was that Rocket Lawyer has resources for the different states that would know the local type of areas that that they're obviously going to differ state to state, and so it was great to hear back from literally two lawyers at two different parts of Florida to specifically address a Florida question. So again, that's a great value to me.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And being like, as far as trusting in them, the fact that they were Florida lawyers, I knew they weren't guessing about laws particular to our state, which is huge.
Rocket Lawyer has the online component, but then again, as you said, Dennis, you can ask specific questions, get an answer from a human if need be, and that person has expertise where you're at for that local jurisdiction as well. Am I correct in that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's huge. So Again, it's not having to go out and find a lawyer. Maybe you might even not like the lawyer you found, and now you've wasted your time and your money. So when I'm dealing with Rocket Lawyer, I know I'm dealing with a community of services that I can reach out to and expect an answer back, like I said, within 24 hours. I think Rocket Lawyer is mostly California based, and we're a 3-hour time zone, but good answers I've always gotten back.
Yeah, good answers are good for sure, especially when it comes to legal issues. A few more questions I have for you, Dennis, and then I also want to ask you what's your tip for business success. But thinking about if you were not using Rocket Lawyer, you were not using a service like this, you didn't have the speed, didn't have the trust, didn't have the signed services, and maybe there was a season when you didn't have them. But what would it be like if you didn't have them? And I ask this because many people listening to us may say, really, do I need this? Do I need this type of service? Can it really help me? Clearly it has, but talk to the person who's like, nah, I'm fine as I am. What are they missing out, Dennis, by not using a service like Rocket Lawyer?
Well, a big part of why I like Rocket Lawyer is the fact that I know that I can fire up my laptop. And I forgot one of the things we didn't talk about was the capability of the vault of storing those important signed documents that is built in. You don't want to keep that in your house where who knows, a fire or whatever could destroy it. All of those documents are kept in the cloud at Rocket Lawyer. They're sorted, they're filed, their status is listed as well.
No, that was good. I was just asking you the benefits of it, like what would happen if you didn't use Rocket Lawyer.
Oh well, yeah. That's a huge one for me. Is just the ability to organize. Where are you going to keep all these documents? Where are you going to keep these answers? I know with Rocket Lawyer that everything I'm doing in that area is online. It's available when I need it to review, go back and look at, to modify. And have quick access to it. So those type of tools are really valuable. That separate, manila folders like they used to use, or a file system, or all of that stuff. All of my legal questions and answers, and you don't lose those. They're still there. They're always there, those questions and answers, in case you need to go back and say, well, what was that? I get an answer to that again. So organization is a huge value to it, as well as knowing that if I need to get anything legally done, even something new, I'm thinking, well, maybe Rocket Lawyer has a product for that, that I might need something, maybe a new contract, things of that nature. They're there, and I know that I have a flight. I after 1 week signed up for the annual program because I was quite impressed with it. So knowing that everything I need is in one toolbox that I enjoy working with, it's actually an enjoyable service to use. Rather than just something you have to do. It's a great product, and I highly recommend it.
Annual service, I think it's called Rocket Legal Plus, is definitely amazing for one fee, kind of get everything you need to run your business and your personal life for sure. Dennis, again, thanks for being here today. Thanks for being with us. I'm curious, Dennis, probably final 1 or 2 questions is that what's your advice for other business owners, other entrepreneurs who are running their own business? And I may ask you a personal life question too, but what's your advice for other business owners? What are the 1 or 2 things you and your wife have done right to have a successful business, especially this long in business? What are 1 or 2 things you've done right that others can maybe look at and model?
Well, one of the things that I think to be successful in business is organization. Being organized in what you're doing. It's a tough world today. There's a lot going on. Everything's going fast. If you're trying to be successful, starting up a new business, everybody knows that starting a business is always a challenge. If you haven't done it, it's a challenge. But knowing that if you have a tool like Rocket Lawyer can kind of help you go through the process, you can do, of course, your own research on the internet for certain types of questions. But having your own personal lawyer that you can basically go to anytime and create that document that you need to get those documents signed, research legal questions, get legal advice as you're moving forward. Do I want to do an LLC? Do I want to do a subchapter S? Do I want to do a corporation? Those type of things, having that tool immediately available to use whenever I want it 24/7 versus having to use some outside source really opens up the door to make getting that business going much easier and more likely that you're going to do good and not give up because you got something you just couldn't get done, so you finally threw in the towel. A tool like Rocket Lawyer is one less thing that you have to worry about other than developing your client base. And it's a great system to have as your partner. as I would call it.
I love it. No, thank you, Dennis, for that. How can people reach you, Dennis? One more time, tell us who you are, what you do. If you have a website or any way that you want people, I'm assuming in the Florida area, to reach you, promote your business. Please share with us once again who you are, what you do, website or Instagram or whatever you like. Just to those listening, if they're interested in working with you, how should they reach you and remind us what you do?
Well, our business is called RLS Paradise Realty. We have a website called rlsparadiserealty.com. I can be reached at my name, email, Dennys van Dick, at actually email.com, not gmail.com. It's all one word, Dennys van Dick at email.com. I'm frequently asked, email or Gmail? And it's surprising to many people that I've been in IT a long time, that email.com actually existed before Gmail. So it's Dennys van Dick at email.com. If you have any questions about Rocket Lawyer, I'm more than happy to get back to you on what I think about it. And how, maybe what I think about how Rocket Lawyer could help you.
I appreciate that. Dennys van Dick, thank you so much for being with us. Thanks for being here on the Rocket Lawyer Small Business Spotlight. Appreciate you so much being here, and wish you and your family an amazing rest of the day.